If you're going to use Connect for more than just a basic presentation tool, if you want to use it for more of a collaboration tool, and you've set a meeting room up that acts more like a room than a presentation, then you're going to want to consider how you're going to manage your participants. For example, you can see that Olivia is in the room as a participant, and if she wants to be able to do anything more than passively watch the presentation, then I'm going to need to manage her a little bit. Now, let me first start by showing you what it looks like if you're Olivia. I'm going to change my role to a participant, and this is it. All she can do is sit and listen, and she can chat with me to participate, or she can use her status indicator here to do something like raise her hand or agree or disagree or whatever. But if this is a collaborative session, I'm probably going to want her to be able to do more. So I'm going to convert myself back to a host. And the first thing that I'll want to do is give her access to the microphone. If we're using voice over IP for the meeting, that's going to be a very convenient way for her to be able to participate. I can hover over her name and select Enable Audio. But if this is going to be a meeting with 5, 6, 10, 15 people in it, that's going to take time for me to go through and do that for everybody. And frankly, that's cumbersome. So what I'm instead going to do is, for a meeting room like this, select Enable Audio for Participants. So now everybody in the room who is a participant will have access to the microphone. I'll show you what that looks like. See, she has the microphone now. Go back to being a host. So that's a convenient way to start the process of giving people access to things, but I can go further than that. For example, if I want to allow Olivia to write on this whiteboard, I'm going to select her name, and from the attendees pod options, I'll select Attendee Options, Enhanced Participant Rights, and I can choose to give her rights to the Share pod. Once I do that, Olivia will have access to these same tools, and she can choose to write on the whiteboard as a part of the collaboration. Now, frankly, that's probably more cumbersome than I want. It's good to be able to have that level of control, but if I want everyone to start participating, then an easier way to do that is to select Meeting, Manage Access and Entry, and auto-promote participants to presenters. What that's going to do is that for everyone who comes into the room, they're going to automatically become a presenter. And this is a setting that stays active for the room until you turn it off. So you may want to think about that. If you turn it off, then everyone will go back to being a participant. If you leave it on, anyone who comes into the room until you turn it off will be promoted to presenter. But there's one more thing that I want to show you, because there's a formal way to do all of this using user accounts. If you're going to have a room with a standard number of people that come into the room over and over again, it's probably going to be more convenient to set things up ahead of time so that you don't have to do these things in an ad hoc fashion. So for that, I'm going to select Meeting, and I want to get to the portal, so I'm going to select Manage Meeting Information. And I'm actually not interested in this meeting's information specifically yet, because I'll want to go to Administration. I'm going to select Users and Groups, because I'm going to create a group of people, because this is a group of people that I'm going to be working with over and over again in this room. And so I'll go ahead and we'll scroll down here in the browser. I'm going to select New Group. Tim's Meeting Group. Click Next. Scroll down. I'm going to invite Bob to the meeting group, Kirk to the meeting group, and Olivia to the meeting group, and click Finish. So I've created a meeting group that I'm going to use with the room. So you can see that I have Tim's meeting group here. Back to the meeting room, I'll enter Tim's room. I'm going to select Edit Participants, and you can see that I have Olivia in the room, and she is set up to be a host. First off, I'm going to remove her individually, because I may want to add somebody specific. For example, Sam, we'll add. I can select Sam, set his user role to be, in this case, presenter. That means he can participate in the collaborative session, but he's not a full-blown host in the room, and that's probably a good idea. But instead of doing this for each and every individual, all I need to do is select Tim's meeting group and click Add, and then select Tim's meeting group here, and I can set the user group for the entire role with a single click of the mouse. The great thing about this is that from now on, if somebody else wants to join my group and I want to allow them, all I need to do is add them to the group. I don't actually have to go through the process of adding them to my room over and over again. And this is good because I might have several different meeting rooms that I'm using with Tim's meeting group set up for different purposes. As long as I've added this group to the meeting room as a current participant and set their user role, then I can manage the group as a single item, and it covers all of the meetings to which I've invited this group as a set of participants. So when you're working in a Connect room and you want to do something more than just present to people, you want people to be able to collaborate in the room, it's a really good idea to think about how those people are going to interact with you. Are they transient? Do you want to allow them in one by one and then manage them separately? Or is it more convenient for you to create a group of users on the Connect system that you can add to the room and then bring in one fell swoop and give them all the rights they need to be able to participate fully?